Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Services Ops Podcast, the best podcast dedicated to the people, processes, and technologies of operating a great services business. My name is Chris Souza. I'm head of marketing here at Provis, and with me, as always, is our co-founder, CEO, Mahesh Bakshi. Mahesh, welcome.
Absolutely. Pleasure is always there. And this is a very special episode, Chris. We have Travis, don't want to steal thunder, but not only our customer, but some amazing stuff that they do, which we are looking forward to have a
Yeah,
conversation about.
a truly impressive business. And so let's introduce the episode and let's introduce our guest. Today's episode, we're diving into how services organizations should be thinking about navigating Dreamforce, navigating Salesforce, and heading into the future of Salesforce, and what comes out of this massive conference that's coming up. What should you be looking for? What should you be kind of targeting? And we have the perfect guest, absolutely perfect guest. You can see him right now. Expert in Salesforce, all clouds, everything you can imagine. Very well versed in Salesforce and what it means, and also knows what it means to run a great services business. And so this is managing partner and CEO of Provisio Partners, Travis Bloomfield. Travis, welcome.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and we appreciate you coming on. This is a special treat for our audience, and I think a very timely episode. So let's just dive in really quick, Travis, and let's learn a little bit more about you and Provisio Partners. You talk a little bit about what you do, your customers, and kind of the clouds that you engage with Salesforce.
Sure. Thank you. Salesforce, has been a platform that I've been engaged with for about the last, I would say, 11, 12 years. And in doing so, it was really important to us to get focused in an area that we were passionate about. And so Provisio was actually founded to serve a certain group, and that was health and human services organizations, very simply on the Salesforce platform. So if you asked anyone in Provisio what we do, we empower health and human services organizations to do better through people, process, and Salesforce-based solutions.
That's great. That's really great. And you just always spark this thing in my head, something that we often hear from Provis customers when we talk to is who they serve. And because it's a services business, is literally you're serving somebody. So it's important to be passionate about your customer base, because everything is about serving your customers and being really successful. And we kind of get caught up in the minutia of the day-to-day business sometimes.
Sure.
Hence a people, process, and technology podcast. But really, it's all just leading those customers. So, and that's a super cool customer base that you're serving there.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, coming from a military background, service has always been central to my ethos, and I would say that every individual teammate that we have are completely connected to the mission of our clients, and those are really important missions that range from everything working in mental behavioral health to early childhood, housing and shelter, immigrant and refugee resettlement, aging, some very important, sometimes hot topics around the country, but we believe in better serving our communities.
Yeah. And Travis, I'm always intrigued about the names of the companies and story behind the names. Like Provis, we have Provis is made up of two different words called Proventus and Opus, and together it means successful business. So we'd love to kind of hear where does the name Provisio come from, and what's this history there?
Sure. Back in 2015, we created a product that was used before Salesforce had their own program and case management. And everybody always wanted a bird's eye view of the clients that they're serving. And so we named that product Servio, which is serve in Latin, which goes along with everything that we're about. And as that product came to market, we felt it was important as we established Provisio Partners, which was actually established only in November of 2017. So we wanted to stay within that Latin theme. And so forward vision is Provisio. And so we felt it was our duty to serve our clients with a forward vision that is not just modernizing technology, but looking and helping them guide through what their innovation journey is. And so Provisio was the name.
Very cool. Very cool. See, there's always interesting story behind the name, so I like that.
Yeah,
sure.
Thank you.
Very cool. So before we dive into Dreamforce specifically, I'd love to talk a little bit about, Provisio, you're driving innovation and change in a very important sector, right?
Sure.
But also you are a business and you do need to drive your own internal change and innovation. So Can you talk about how you approach looking inside yourselves at your people, process, and technology, and how you prioritize activities and efficiencies?
Sure. Well, I guess internally, we've always supported innovation for our clients and in filling in gaps where, as most know, Salesforce is a wonderful generalized product on the surface. There's all kinds of opportunity to really create additional solutions on top of the platform, just as Provis has done very well. And so we've started out from an innovation journey doing that as we were wanted to do better for our clients. But at the same time, we realized as our business was growing, we had to do better for ourselves if we were going to be able to do better for our clients. It's kind of that parenting model that if you're not sitting right with your loved ones, it's very difficult to parent and do that effectively. So we have actually created an office of technology internally where we look at best practices and innovations. So when we look at investments internally, I'll just tell you, Provisio is about a $20 million organization, and we look to be 50 here very shortly. And when we do that, we have the mindset of building the organization as if we're a 50 to $100 million organization. And in doing so, we've made the correct investments, whether it's back office technologies supporting our finance and HR functions, whether that is internally looking at tools and systems supporting how we go to market. So we use a product called Cumulus CI to help better manage our products. Shout out to Jason Lance, who really created a wonderful product there. But it is everything that we do in preparation, which is exactly why we made the investment in Provis, looking at how we can do better, frankly, through data and automation and getting ready for AI as we embrace that.
That's great. Mahesh, I'll ask the question for you because I can see it in your eyes. Getting ready for AI. What does that mean? What does that mean for Provisio?
Yeah, we've really expanded our data services, and as excited as we are about AI, and for anybody attending Dreamforce, you will see data cloud, big data, AI, trust layer, which is unbelievably important in the Salesforce ecosystem. But we're a big believer that you have to have a data strategy before you can have an AI strategy. So most of the consulting that we do today in relation to AI is everything to do with understanding what data an organization has, how it can be leveraged. So we look at that as more of AI readiness and start with a data strategy.
And Travis, to extend to that, what do you find? I mean, how ready do you think? So I think everyone wants to embrace AI technologies, undoubtedly, because of the underlying benefits. I mean, but the benefits is equivalent to how your data is ready and can support,
Sure.
right? So, when you talk to number of customers or prospects, what do you find usually? How ready do you think customers are to really not just embrace the technology for the sake of it, but to really get something meaningful out of it?
I think that they're starting to ask the right questions. And I think that most of the conversation has been led with the how. And in our world, the how is the easiest part. And I think the tough part is the why. And that's what we consult on is the why. Why do we look at big data? Why is this AI strategy? Why is generative going to help us better serve our client base? Why would predictive AI really benefit how we could better serve and be prepared for the family that's going to need additional services that we don't know about today, but we know they will through technology and AI in the future. So I think that the level of preparedness is probably a 3 out of a 10, if I may. But I think there's really deep, meaningful conversations about the why we would want to leverage AI and what we would need to do and how we could leverage it with the data we have today and the data we have to add tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And we go through those conversations every day with every customer because, as you know, we solve for services CPQ or services quoting, as we like to call it. And this is one of those missing pieces of puzzle that happens on Excel spreadsheet almost 95% of the time across different industry segments. And what you leave behind with Excel spreadsheet, as flexible and as great it sounds like, is ability to not collect the structured data that can be manipulated by any technologies. Forget about AI, but even the simple analytics technologies, you can just not use Excel spreadsheet based,
Yeah.
data that you have, right? And so we run into that question all the time. And, part of what we do, as much as our solution solves for the advanced analytics and AI, the foundation is like, hey, you have to move off of Excel spreadsheets. You have to get, your process automated. On back of that, you are actually going to collect the data in a structured and meaningful way for you to be able to start then reaping the benefit of, technologies such as AI, right? I mean, we have that conversation almost every day with customers.
Yeah, and for us, of course, we use Sales Cloud internally, and super excited to have Provis on that journey with us. And I will say, though, at times it's almost like, the cobbler's kids, where the shoes on the kids are the last things that are getting fixed. But I think we were realistic about what data we were missing in Sales Cloud and how we best make decisions. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Coffey. He's one of the leading evangelists, technology evangelists within Salesforce. And I met Peter Coffey at New York World Tour back in 2015 or 16 or so. And one of the conversations that he had with me is in looking at data, that if you're not making decisions with data, it's just record keeping. And that kind of stood out for me, as in, all the different pieces and the way that we work with data. But if we're not looking to make decisions with that information, it's just record keeping.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And since you do everything Salesforce, part of what you do with the customers is really get them to answer those why questions, because like you said, how is the easiest part of all? Well, if you know your whys, then how is the easiest part of all? But is the how done when it comes to AI using Salesforce technologies as well? Is that what you do?
It is. I would say from a data security perspective, as we've looked at, let's just talk about generative AI. When we look at generative AI, ChatGPT, and all the others that are out there, for us in Salesforce, between Data Cloud, Einstein, and that trust layer is unbelievably important because of the nature, not just HIPAA compliance, but the sensitive nature of the data that we work with, even in our own environments, are cordoned off in the different sandboxes. Because from a security perspective, we're dealing with information along the lines of healthcare information, which that is. So we're not going to have a ChatGPT scenario that we're going to be able to work with. So that trust layer within Salesforce is the golden goose for us, and which has allowed us to do some really great things for clients.
Fantastic. Yeah.
That's really great. I think I'm going to jump the gun just a little bit here, just in case we don't get to the end. But as you're going through Dreamforce and Salesforce this year, I think more and more everybody's understanding the whys or even the whats. Like, what can we do?
Yeah.
What we're excited. Why do we want it? So we can do this. And don't jump the gun and forget that there is a big how that needs to happen, and it's still that data, right? It's still that data layer. So.
Yeah.
Going to Dreamforce, excited to explore the whys and the whats, but don't forget your critical hows, and don't forget Provisio while you're thinking about it. Very good. So let's jump over to Dreamforce really quick.
Sure.
I think for a lot of folks, Dreamforce is sort of a pause is a weird word, but pause and reflect, or it's just like it's a moment on the calendar where you say, what did we do last year? What should we be thinking about next year? And also, we're going to be learning a million different things that's happening at Dreamforce. So how do you, as a services organization, both internally and then externally for your business, approach Dreamforce?
Sure. I think from the very beginning, we've always approached it as the opportunity to learn and connect. Because for anyone that has gone to Dreamforce, it's those connections that make it so magical. It's always announcements of different products and different positioning in the marketplace. But I think what everyone values is the opportunity to connect within community. And those are certainly the things that we cherish when we go there. But to your point, there is an awful lot of opportunity for learning. And that's something that we really lean into as an organization.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like to I personally like to put in the time ahead of it to sort of map out what am I interested in seeing, who do I want to talk to, because there are probably 10,000 people there who are probably kind, nice people, but have nothing to do with the field that I'm in, right?
Right.
So I think that's an important, don't plan on just showing up and getting max value there. Come with the plan and expectations, like you just said.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the responsibility does fall on the individuals. Salesforce has changed Dreamforce over the years. It's a little bit different, specifically with the areas that we focus in nonprofit and public sector. There are certainly sessions that are great sessions and valuable content, but there's fewer of them as we go across different cloud offerings and vertical markets, which I'm super excited about. But you really have to be prepared to be able to hit all the high notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. And to that extent, right? I think you touched on a very important point, which is it's the connections you make during Dreamforce that makes it magical, and then all of this amazing product announcements that always happens at Dreamforce, which is fantastic. And I think this is our third year at Dreamforce under the pros. I mean, I've been attending Dreamforce for a long, long time, since 2007, and have been in that ecosystem for a long time. But as pros, this is our third year, and I feel this year we are so aligned with what Salesforce is going to talk about, and where we are as a company in our product, our journey, and stuff like that. Like, I'll give you a couple of examples, right? We all know that you are not going to walk 10 steps without seeing AI at any place within the
Right.
box and around, right? And so AI is just going to be everywhere. And last year it started kind of seeding the AI, and this year I think I won't be surprised if every step of the way we see AI everywhere. And so we are going to be announcing our advanced analytics and AI module during Dreamforce as well, which is so well aligned with what Salesforce is talking about. But in quote to cash domain, which is where we play, I think the bigger announcement in that domain that's going to come from Salesforce is the RLM, which is the Revenue Lifecycle Management.
Yeah.
And as we speak, we are getting fully integrated into RLM so that we can take it to the customers. The combined power of RLM and Provis allows customers to completely unify how they sell products and services, right? Otherwise, with RLM only, they would be automating their product CPQ journey, but then the services is still left behind and they still have to do Excel spreadsheets. But now with RLM and Provis, they are able to completely unify how they sell product and services. So those are the two big announcements we will be doing. And I think, I feel that it's going to be so well aligned with what Salesforce is going to talk about at Dreamforce.
That's fantastic. I'm excited to learn more about it. It's as our growth has been accelerated over the years, we have spent an incredible amount of time at the front end of the business as we're working through the quoting process and accurately scoping, and how that ties in then to our staffing projections and bookings, and then ultimately our billings, and it all comes together. But it is something that continues to need refinement and technology advances. So super excited to learn more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Looking forward to that. Talking about Dreamforce, and Chris, maybe this is something that you were going to ask next, but I heard you guys are doing something different this year. So what is it? What are you guys planning to do at Dreamforce?
We are, and we talked about the opportunity to learn and make those connections, and one of the areas that we felt that we could best serve the Salesforce community as well as the human services community is to bring industry leaders, if you will, together. So CEOs, certainly plenty of clients in the Bay Area that we work with and serve, but we are actually creating an all-day event. And forgive me, the venue, I believe, is Minna 4083 Minna. There's lots of information on our LinkedIn as well as our website that I would invite you to go check out. But we've actually created a human services hub. And in this human services hub, as I alluded to, some of the sessions are more geared towards generalized industries and less into some of the details. So we're bringing together star speakers from Salesforce, from industries related to health and human services. So Some of those in terms of looking at the opportunities, discover data and AI possibilities for human services specifically. We're getting into connections with visionaries where we're having others that are coming to speak. So there's an entire day of learning that's there and connection within the space. And then we're going to have a happy hour afterwards to cap it all off. But we're super excited. This is also the first year that we've brought together our industry partners. So as you know, everybody in the ecosystem, it's a wonderful ecosystem, but we leverage partners much like others do. So this is the first time that we've actually gone to market jointly with our valuable partners that we bring with our clients.
Great. That's great. Yeah, no, absolutely. Looking forward to it, and all the best to you guys for the event. Yeah.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
And I like that too. Once again, for services organizations, really good advice is, Provisio is putting on a full day of learning to get more deeper into the weeds for something specific, right? And these little ancillary events and these activities around Dreamforce for your particular field or your service or your industry or whatever it is you're serving, they're out there. So don't be shy in reaching out to somebody specifically within the services field, a Provisio or Provis or somebody that serves you as a customer, and ask, hey, what do you know about? Is there anything more? Do you have any recommendations for sessions to attend or whatever it's going to be? Once again, just to kind of refine your trip and make sure you're really focused on getting the most out of Dreamforce. Yeah, I think that's a little insider tip, if you will.
For sure.
Very great. All right. So I think we're just about time here. And Travis, something Mahesh and I like to do at the end of every single episode is ask for one or two really solid key takeaways that our audience can take towards their organization, either in their mindset, could be tactical, whatever it's going to be. So what we'll do is we'll open up the floor, and maybe we'll start with Mahesh, and then give you a moment to get a couple of thoughts in here, and then do one or two great takeaways.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. So I think the couple of key takeaways. Number one, Dreamforce has to be on top of your agenda. If it's not, you have to add it. It's a great event. It's right around the corner now. I can't believe it's less than a month away now. But while you are at Dreamforce, I think if this is your first time, you're going to have a great time. If this is not your first time, you're still going to have a fantastic time. But to make the most of your time at Dreamforce, I think it's all about connecting the dots in terms of all of the product, not just Salesforce products, but all of the partner products which are actually developing around that entire ecosystem. I think if you really focus and figure out what's happening in the ecosystem, I think that would be worthwhile for you to really kind of focus on during Dreamforce, because obviously there are hundreds of partners, there are hundreds of product announcements, but to you and what you do as a company or as an organization or in your role, I think, what are the products that matters, and how, one thing that I would say I've always taken away from as a key takeaway from Dreamforce is how the industry is changing year after year. I mean, you just see the magnitude of so many innovations happening during Dreamforce that you wouldn't see otherwise in the entire year. So kind of breathe in, ready to take on a lot of stuff, but a lot of meaningful stuff, and you will have to, really quickly make sure that you are focusing on things that are important to you, because there are hundreds of things that's happening, and probably 10 of those are really critical for you and for you to get into. So I would say just be prepared to have long days, tiring days, but really open up your mind to soak in into the information.
That's great. I would go along those lines. I would first say, really take the time and create the itinerary of what you think is most important to you before you get there. Secondly, I would say once you get there, breathe and enjoy it, because that's what it's meant to do, and learn and make those connections, because it can become overwhelming. You can feel a little bit of FOMO, as if you're missing out on a session and you'll never get to get that information again, or I didn't line up in time to see the keynote in which section, and those types of things. just know that you're there and be in the moment and lean into what those connections can really do from a learning perspective. So I would say, although I don't know all the different themes, but I'm, pretty much to your point, there will be AI everywhere. There will be data cloud everywhere, and there will be trust everywhere. And within those three things, I would encourage you to understand how the why and what is the why for your organization, because the how is going to be very well done in terms of how to do these things and the tools to do it. But I would start with the why, and I would get a data strategy as quickly as you can, thoughtfully as you can, and lead to AI readiness and ultimately an AI strategy. So those things take time. They can be done, but you have to start somewhere, and it all starts with the data.
Fantastic. All right. Well, that's all the time we have today. Travis, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time. Really great advice. We're all excited for Dreamforce. We'll try and make sure we see you there. And thank you to our audience. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, listen to our other channels. If you want to learn more about Provisio, visit them on LinkedIn or provisiopartners.com. And go out there and enjoy being inspirational, innovative, and excited. There's a lot coming to the services organization, especially in the next month. So now is the time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.